Hello everyone, this is Chess Boy. Today we are going to be looking at commonly used turns in chess, and this is level 2, which means I'm going to raise the difficulty just a little bit. So the first topic we are going to look at is what we call the back rank. If you are playing white, the back rank is obviously first rank. If you are playing black, the back rank is the 8th rank. So when we play chess, we usually tell you to be careful your back rank, because the back rank is very dangerous when you didn't pay attention to that. So in this position, if you are playing black, you can see your king is well protected by the 3 pawns after your castle, of course. This can be very safe, and it can be very dangerous at the same time. What I mean by that is, after I take your rook, you have to take back, right? Because you lose a rook. But this is actually the huge blunder, because after I take back, this is what we call the back rank checkmate. You can see the king has no escaping squares, and you are being checked at the same time. So this is what we call back rank checkmate, very dangerous. So if you are playing chess, after your castle, you can definitely open the window for your king. This is the safe move because your king has breathing room to escape. So back rank checkmate doesn't necessarily has to be 3 pawns. In this position, after white takes the rook, it's actually made in 3. We're going to use a technique called force the king to somewhere else. So in this position, instead of taking back with the rook, you are going to take him back with your queen. And this is a check, and the king is under attack. And you can see there's no square for the king to go. The only available square is h1. And after h1, you can sacrifice your queen and deliver checkmate on the back rank. You can see the king still has no square to go to. So this is really important that you have to make a breathing room for your king. And in this position, this is very similar to the previous one, where you just take the queen and it has to take back with the knight, and then we can take the knight with our rook. This is actually checkmate because the rook is pinned. It can't move because the bishop. So the current situation, just like there are 3 pawns in front of the king, but instead there's a rook, but the rook is pinned, so the rook can't move. So if I go rook d8, this is a very solid checkmate. So the next topic we're going to be looking at is the sacrifice. Yes, the sacrifice sounds very straightforward, just give away your pieces. But sacrifice something to get advantage or even win again is the most difficult but beautiful thing in chess. In this position, after queen g7 check, king e6, now you can't push the pawn from f6 to f7. This is a huge blunder because the opponent can checkmate you by sacrifice the queen. Why? You just give away the queen. But after that, rook check is checkmate. You can see the bishop is covering g1 square, the rook is attacking the king, and is blocking by the pawn. So this position, this is a solid checkmate. Now, sometimes sacrifice may involve the topic that we just talked about in the previous video. In this position, you have the great chance to win the queen. How can you do that? Exactly. If you want to win the queen, the best move here is actually bishop h7. This is actually a check. So after king takes the bishop, you can win a queen. So you just combine 2 concepts. The first one is discover check, and the second one is sacrifice and take the queen. So the last example is really commonly happen in the real game. So this is a real game I played against a 1900 player. In this position, my opponent plays h6 to kick the bishop. I go bishop h5. My opponent gets a little bit aggressive. He goes g4. Now in this position, if you are facing this kind of pawn attack and your opponent already castled, you can just sacrifice your knight. If he takes back, you take back with the bishop. Now you can see your opponent's king side is wide open. It's very weak, even though you sacrifice the whole piece. But you gain 2 pawns and a 2 semi-open file. My opponent actually played king g2. This is a huge blunder because I have rook e6. Now this is what I call the rook lift. The rook lift is very useful when the file is wide open. Now my opponent plays rook g1 and I plays rook f6. And you can see the queen is pinned. The knight can't go because I'll just take the queen. And in the next move, I'm going to win my opponent's queen. For example, bishop e3 takes with check. This is what we call the fork. Now the queen has to take, and we take the queen. And after my opponent take the rook, I'm totally winning. So the final topic we're going to be looking at is under promotion. You see, promoting to a queen in chess is very common. Everybody does that. But in chess, in some very special situations, you have to promote to something else instead of the queen. So in this position, black to move, black plays a very bad move, which is queen b6. This move just loses the game. So the idea is, if you take my knight, I'm going to take back with the queen. But can you find a move other than c takes d8, promoting to the queen? Exactly, the move here is not take the knight, it's just directly promote to another knight. And this is check and fork. So you fork the king and the queen. The king has to go somewhere. We take the knight. You see, we are totally winning in this position. This is why you don't automatically promote to a queen. So the next example we are going to be looking at is very beautiful. In this position, white moves e7. Now, you can't really move your rook because, let's say, rook here, I just take the rook. If you go rook here, I got e8 and promote to a queen. And king f7 doesn't work either because we go this, just take a rook and promote to a new queen. And you take, I'm up a whole knight and I'm totally winning. So there's nothing you can do but go rook c8. But in this position, black sets up a trap for white to fall into. King h7. If you take the rook and promote to a queen, this is what we call the stalemate. Because in this position, queen covers everything but h7 square. So king is not under attack and king can move. And for black, there is no legal moves. This is what we call the stalemate. So the best move here, after king h7, you just promote to everything else. Let's say rook, bishop, knight, everything works instead of the queen. The last example we are going to be looking at is amazing, astonish. So in this position, bishop can't really take the knight because we just promote, and that's probably checkmate. And we can go bishop b6, the same thing. So the only move probably just bishop b8, because if you promote by taking a bishop, we takes back. That's what we call a draw, because we only have a knight. The knight can really checkmate the black king in this position. So after bishop b8, what is the move to win again for white? Of course, you can't promote to a queen because that would be stalemate. You can see there's no move for the black king and the king is not under attack. Stalemate. Again, you can't promote to a rook. That's still a stalemate because king still has no moves. The bishop is pinned and the king's not under attack. So you can't promote to a queen. You can't promote to a rook. How about knight? So the knight is still draw because in this position you can't really checkmate your opponent with two knights. For example, bishop here, knight here, and king just runs away and there's no way to checkmate your opponent. So the correct move is promote to a bishop. Now, the king can move, right? It's covered by the king and of course the knight. The only move is to move the bishop. If bishop goes anywhere, we go knight d7, covering this square. And now the king has no square to go to, so the only move again, to move the bishop. So now, the only move here, bishop b7, is the beautiful checkmate. So the level 2 is a little bit difficult, but I think you guys can get an idea. And the next time you play chess, don't forget to pay attention to the back rank and look for the chance to sacrifice your pieces. And we are going to promote, be careful. Don't always automatically promote to a queen. Look for something better. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next video. Goodbye.